Hey everybody, welcome to another top 10 list, and this top 10 list is my top 10 personal favorite David Fincher movies. Yes, David fucking Fincher. I love David Fincher's movies. He's got this really raw, very grittiness about him, and I just love it, and I love his movies. And originally I was going to do a ranking of David Fincher's movies, but he has 10 movies, so you know what? Let's do a top 10. I may not like all 10 of his movies. I like 9 out of the 10, but you know what? Top 10 David Fincher movies. So yeah. Favorite is not entirely accurate, but whatever. Top 10 David Fincher movies. Here we go. Here's my top 10 David Fincher films. Coming number 10 is, of course, Alien 3. Yes, Alien 3. Yes, I love the Alien franchise. Most of the movies. I love Alien and I love Aliens. So Alien 3, like, this movie had to be good, and it's directed by this newcomer, David Fincher. This movie isn't that good. This movie isn't god-awful, but it's not good. It's not good at all. It kills awesome characters off screen in the beginning of the movie. You're like, you know, some of those awesome characters from Aliens? Well, they're dead. Why? Just because they're dead. And it kills other awesome characters in this movie, and I'm like, what the fuck? And yeah, like, this movie has like no tension, and it has no likable characters in this movie. Like all these new characters on this prison and everything, they're terrible. I can't stand any of these characters. There's a new bishop. I don't like him. And Ripley is the only thing that is remotely good in this movie. Sigourney Weaver gives a really good performance. She's very good in all these movies, and she's great in Alien 3. Very good. And it's a very well shot movie. The cinematography is really good. The effects look good. The xenomorphs look good. Some of the killing and action scenes were pretty good. Just, there wasn't much tension in this movie. I hated the supporting cast. I hated that they killed characters off screen, which I hated. I didn't like the ending. This was a horrible ending to the Alien movies. And then we got Alien Resurrection, which was an even worse ending. But yeah, Alien 3 was a huge disappointment. It's not a great movie. It's not a horrible movie, but it's definitely not a great movie. And that's why it's my 10th favorite David Fincher movie. Thank God it was only his first movie. Coming number 9 is The Curious Case of Benjamin Button. Yes, Brad Pitt, Cate Blanchett star in The Curious Case of Benjamin Button. The story of this movie is pretty simple. It's about a kid, basically a bunch of people, they find a baby, and the baby looks like an old man, because this person, the main character, Benjamin Button, basically ages backwards. Like, he's born an old man, and he's gonna die a baby. So it's like, you know, age process backwards. You know, that kind of shtick. And the story is about his life and how he has to deal with that and everything, and honestly, that's it. And honestly, this is a good movie. It's long. It's really, really long. It's like 2 hours and 38 minutes long. It's very freaking long. There are some slow moments that drag on, and some parts, I guess, will bore people, and yeah, I get that, but I do like this movie. Brad Pitt is very good in this movie. Cate Blanchett gave an Oscar-worthy performance. She didn't win, but she was nominated. Very good in this movie, and I like this movie. It's a very well-shot movie. The effects look good, especially on Brad Pitt, you know, when he's old and everything. The makeup looks very good. The costume's good. The production's good. I was intrigued with the story, and I was intrigued by the character Benjamin Button, and I like the relationship between Brad Pitt and Cate Blanchett. I believe them. They had good chemistry, and this is definitely not the strongest David Fincher movie, because it is really long, and it is really bizarre. It doesn't have that dark greenness like most of David Fincher's movies do, but it is a good movie. I do like this movie. I know some people don't like it. I do. I think Curious Case of Benjamin Button is a very enjoyable film, and I can definitely recommend it. Coming number 8 is The Game. Yes, Michael Douglas, Sean Penn, The Game. The story of this movie is about Michael Douglas. He's like this uptight business guy, and his brother, played by Sean Penn, wants to give him a gift. And this gift is like this psychological game. Basically, you play this game. There's this corporation, and if you play this game, this will change you as a person. It's like almost like a psychological game kind of thing. It's a real-life game, and you don't know the rules, you don't know what's happening, and basically throughout this entire game, you don't know what's real, you don't know what's going on. Basically, your life is falling apart in this game, you have no idea what's happening, you don't know what real is, what reality is, you just don't know. And honestly, this is a very intriguing and very interesting premise, and it is very good. It's very, very well executed and very well directed by David Fincher. It's a great film. Again, it's not David Fincher's best movie, because again, there are some moments in this movie that are a bit abrupt, and I think a bit rushed at times, and I wish some characters got a little more character development, especially Conrad, Sean Penn's character. He was really good. He was really good in this movie, Sean Penn. I just wish he was a little more developed, and I wish he was in it more. Michael Douglas is great in this movie. He's fantastic in this movie. The ending is very good, and yeah, what a climax. And yeah, it's, again, very well executed, very well directed movie, and it's got that dark and bleakness like a David Fincher film, and I do really like this movie. The Game, very good movie. This was the first David Fincher film I think I saw, and I loved it. Ever since I saw The Game, I wanted to know more about David Fincher's movies, and I got introduced to a shit ton of them, and yep, The Game, fantastic movie. Coming number 7 is Panic Room. Yes, Panic Room, starring Jodie Foster, Kristen Stewart, Jared Leto, Forest Whitaker, and wow, this movie's great. It's basically a bunch of criminals. They break into a house, and a mother and daughter trap themselves into a panic room so they have to fight their way out of the house and try to get the cops and try to get these criminals out of their house, and they don't know what these criminals are after, and I won't spoil what they're after, but yeah, basically it's like a home invasion movie. And some home invasion movies, oh my god, home invasion movies are getting annoying now. Like, some of them are just so cliched, so unoriginal, and like got really silly and over the top characters. This movie is great. This is a David fucking Fincher movie. Like, this is gritty, this is disturbing, this is dark, and it's powerfully acted, very well directed, and it's great. Jodie Foster is awesome. Kristen Stewart is even decent in this movie. She's not even decent, like, at all in movies, but yeah, she's fine in this movie. Jared Leto stole the movie for me. He was so good in this movie. I loved him as this badass criminal, and Forest Whitaker was really good, and honestly, when you're watching this movie, you're actually rooting for the bad guys. It's not because the good guys suck, just these bad guys are just so well acted, so interesting, and the way they talk to each other, the interactions between them, like, I kind of want them to see them get away with it. Like, I don't know why. I don't know if that makes me a bad person, but yeah, I was rooting for the bad guys in this movie. Obviously, like, you probably know how this movie's gonna end. It's kind of predictable, but this is a very good movie, very well acted, very well directed, and I just loved how disturbing this movie is. This is a good home invasion movie. There's a lot of bad home invasion movies, but this one is awesome. Check Panic Room out if you've not seen it. It's fucking great. Coming number 6 is Fight Club. Yes, rule number 1, we do not talk about Fight Club. Rule number 2, we do not talk about Fight Club. This is Fight Club. Everyone loves Fight Club. Everyone says this is the crowning jewel of David Fincher movies. This is the masterpiece of David Fincher movies. This is the greatest David Fincher movie ever. This is like one of the greatest Brad Pitt movies. Everyone says, I don't agree with that, but I love Fight Club. This just screams David Fincher. When I think of David Fincher, I think of Fight Club. I think of Fight Club and my number 1, which I won't spoil, but yeah. Fight Club is an amazing movie. It's very dark, it's very psychological, it's amazingly written, and it's got some pretty good dark comedy in the movie, and the 2 performances by Brad Pitt and Edward Norton are top-notch performances. It's really good. Some of the fight scenes got this grittiness to it, and they're very brutal and very well done, and the direction's really good, the execution's really good, the structure's really good, the ending twist is really good, it's really messed up, and just the whole premise of this movie is just so good. And Helena Bonham Carter and Meatloaf, they're in this movie, and they're great. And everything about this movie is really good. The writing's good, the acting's good, the direction's good. Everyone loves this movie. Anytime someone wants to watch a David Fincher movie, or anytime someone says, what's their favorite David Fincher movie? Most of the answers, most of the time, is Fight Club. Because Fight Club, it's Fight Club. It's Fight Club. It's awesome. Coming number 5 is The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. Yes, the Swedish versions are really good. I've seen the Swedish versions of The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, The Girl Who Played with Fire, The Girl Who Kicked the Hornet's Nest. They're great movies. They're very, very good movies, and Noomi Rapace is awesome. But what David Fincher did with this new version, this remake version, was just excellent. I loved this movie. I loved it. Editing this movie was just top-notch. This is one of the most best edited films in the past, like, 10 years. It's so freaking good. And again, Rooney Mara just made this character so fleshed out. And Noomi Rapace was great, but I liked Rooney Mara better as Elizabeth Salander. And Daniel Craig was great in this movie as Mikkel, and just everything about this movie was good. This one movie I found was better than all 3 of the Swedish versions, and yeah, just the movie was disturbing, but it's just so fascinating, just so interesting to watch, and I love The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. It's a fantastic movie, and what David Fincher did with it was amazing, and I wish that he made the sequels. Like, there's no sequels. I'm like, where's the American version of The Girl Who Played with Fire, or The Girl Who Kicked the Hornet's Nest? Where are these movies? But yeah, this movie, Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, 5th favorite David Fincher film. Coming number 4 is Gone Girl. Yes, last year's Gone Girl. This movie made the top 10 of my favorite films last year because this movie was incredible. It was so freaking good. So this movie is about main character Ben Affleck has a wife and basically she goes missing. And when she goes missing, they all think he killed her. And everyone, the press is eating him up alive. The cops are investigating him. He's saying he didn't do it. Did he do it? Did he not do it? I don't want to spoil it just because you haven't seen this movie or you haven't read the books by Gillian Flynn. I don't know, but like I won't spoil it. But holy shit, the twist of this movie is freaking great, and the twist doesn't happen at the end of the movie. It's not the end of the movie twist. The twist happens like an hour within the movie. You're just like, what? Like, yeah, the direction this movie went, which is awesome. The movie tackles a lot of subjects, and it just does it so well. Between David Fincher's direction, the beautiful script, the wonderful source material by Gillian Flynn, and these performances by all these actors, just so good. Especially Rosamund Pike. But yeah, Gone Girl, one of the best films of last year, and it's an amazing movie. My 4th favorite David Fincher movie. Coming number 3 is Zodiac. Yes, Zodiac. This is the movie based on a true story about the Zodiac Killer. This movie stars Jake Gyllenhaal, Mark Ruffalo, and Robert Downey Jr. And basically, this movie is about people trying to catch the Zodiac Killer. There's a cartoonist, a reporter, a police officer investigating it. And that's the gist of the story. Like, without going into spoilers, basically it's about these 3 different guys. They all want to catch the Zodiac. Jake Gyllenhaal plays a cartoonist, Robert Downey Jr. is the reporter, and Mark Ruffalo is the investigator trying to catch the Zodiac Killer. And this movie is brilliant. This movie is a fantastic mystery dramatic film, and it's so freaking good. This entire movie, you're with all these characters. You're with them guessing, it's that guy, is it that guy, is it that guy? What's he gonna do next? This movie is so freaking good, so engaging, and it's just so fascinating. I love this movie between its brilliant writing, amazing direction, and yeah, I love this movie. I don't know what to say, but yeah. It's well shot, well acted, well directed, well written, and just very captivating movie, and you're always on the edge of your seat, and you're always trying to solve the mystery with all these characters in this movie. Yeah, Zodiac, brilliant film. Coming number 2 is The Social Network. Yes, The Social Network is about Mark Zuckerberg, the creator of Facebook. And I love this movie. Yes, like I know Jesse Eisenberg nowadays is playing the same kind of role. He's always this geeky guy. And yes, he's a geeky guy in this movie, but this was in the beginning of his career when that was like his thing. Like he did Adventureland, which was awesome. The Squid and the Whale, which was awesome. But this is one of Jesse Eisenberg's best performances, him playing Mark Zuckerberg, because he's great in this movie. Mark Zuckerberg is a character that was both likable and very unlikable. Like, he did some really bad shit in this movie, but he still, like, had friends, and he was still kind to people, and he still wanted people to like him, but he did some pretty nasty shit in this movie. Like, he does some pretty asshole things in this movie, and yeah, this movie explores a lot of shit, too, like a lot of David Fincher's films, and it's very good. I really like this movie. I really like Jesse Eisenberg in this movie, even though he plays a geeky kind of role in all his films, but he was very good in this movie. I really liked him, and David Fincher was the right person for this movie, and yes, the sound in this movie is really good. Very good sound mixing in this movie, and the score was very, very good. Really set the tone of the film very well. Really good atmosphere, very good shots, very well directed. And I really found this movie just really fascinating. I really was curious about the story of Mark Zuckerberg and how Facebook was created, and this movie did very well. I really liked that. Mark Zuckerberg was a very interesting character, kind of unlikable at times, but it was really good. And Jesse Eisenberg did a very good job, and so did David Fincher, and it's my 2nd favorite David Fincher movie, and I really like it. If you haven't seen it, like it. So if you haven't seen it, check it out. It's a great film. And my number 1 favorite David Fincher movie is Seven. Yes, 1995 Seven. This movie stars Brad Pitt and Morgan Freeman, and this movie is fucking amazing. This is one of my favorite films of all time. This is one of the greatest mysteries of all time, one of the greatest dramatic thrillers of all time, one of the greatest cop movies of all time. This movie is brilliant. Basically, it's about 2 cops. Basically, one's a newbie and one's almost about to retire. Basically, they're together with this one case. It's a very strange case because this is about a killer who's killing people based off the 7 deadly sins. Yes, he's killing 7 people off the 7 deadly sins, and they have no idea what the hell's wrong with this guy. They're trying to learn about this guy, his psyche, and what he's planning, who's going to kill him next, and what is his plans, what the hell's going on. But it's really well done, and the acting between both Morgan Freeman and Brad Pitt was really good, and Gwyneth Paltrow's also in this movie. She's great. Kevin Spacey's in this movie. He's amazing, and yeah, I really like it. The killer is awesome. I won't say who the killer is, but yeah, he's awesome, and The twist in this movie is really good. The ending is so mind-blowing. Holy shit, it's just nerve-wrenching. Like, holy crap, that ending. That is an ending. Like, David Fincher can end his movies good. That is, like, one of the best David Fincher endings. And this movie's great. It's dark, it's gritty, it's atmospheric, and it's amazing. It's very neo-noir as well, and I love this movie. I think this is one of the greatest mystery/cop films I've ever watched. It's brilliant. One of my favorite movies, and of course my favorite David Fincher movie. So yeah, that was my top 10 favorite David Fincher movies, or just my ranking of the David Fincher movies. But yeah, comment below, what is your favorite David Fincher movie? Give me your top 10, give me your ranking. Comment below and let me know. And as always, if you like this video, please like and subscribe to this channel and join the dark side.